Testing, 1, 2, 3, test, test. Testing, testing, testing. Oh, boy. All right. Okay, thank you for joining me. My name is Shaikwab Ben Yisrael. Welcome to my channel. Before I begin, I'd like to go to the creator as I before my videos. And so if you'll join me, Jehovah, thank you for this opportunity to try to redeem the time while I am on the earth. I pray the same for my brethren. I ask that my ashars will influence me to say things that are pleasant to the ears. I ask that the ashars influence me to speak the truth, to speak with cleanness of heart and mind, body, and soul, to tell the truth and to help encourage and enlighten anyone who is willing to hear the things that are going to be said. So, Jehovah, I ask that the time that we will be spending together here on my channel, that it will be used to the fullest in your name. So let it be. Brethren, great. Thank you for joining me. My name is Shaikwab Ben Yisrael. Welcome to my channel, where it's a channel for faithists, people who can subscribe to the OAHSPE, the OAHSPE, the OAHSPE Bible, they call it. It's newest revelation from the Creator, the one whom the world calls God. And it's my pleasure to do the best I can to just try to let people know what it's all about to the best of my ability, because I believe that it's the only hope for mankind. It's not well received right now. The earth is too strong for most people. And there are certain people scattered all over the earth who are being brought into the revelation of the OAHSPE. Because we're in a new time called the Cosmic Era, where the old system of things has to be done away with. It's time for the old system, the old way of living, the traditions of the last hundreds, thousands of years. It's time for those to come to an end. The purpose of these things was to bring men's consciousness to a point where he can receive the fact that there's life after death. And so he's gotten us to this point now. And so all the systems and institutions that we have developed up to this point have served their purpose. And it's time for us to elevate in our consciousness. And that's what's happening right now. And we're in the embryonic stage of these things. So it's not this knowledge, this revelation is not being well received right now, which is all right. Anything that's new, it takes time for it to eventually bear fruit the way you would think that this type of knowledge would bear fruit. And like I said, this is the only hope for mankind. Now, here is a link where you can go for ministry and information. The Faithist website, Universal Faithist of Cosmin website, where if you have questions, or you can go here for ministry and information. And then here are some ministries that they have, some fellowships that they have. They have a Saturday meditation. They have a healing basket. You can see the times and the contact number. And on every first, second, and third Wednesday, they have a conversation about the OAHSPE. And you can go here for just all kinds of resources, that sort of thing. Now, I like to read what a faithist is, if anyone is new to the channel, to give you an idea about who we are, what we do, what we believe. This is a good summary. It says, what is a faithist? Faithist, we have faith in the all-person, the collective wisdom that is without gender. As faithists, we live by and follow these guidelines inspired by the OAHSPE Bible and the work of John Newbrough. And some of the key principles are: we understand that supremacy exists only in a weak and fearful mind. We strive to do good works in the Creator's name. We respect others' opinions with understanding and openness, as long as their opinions do not diminish the dignity or free will of anyone. We are willing to accept differences from others with no bias. We treat others and ourselves with love and forgiveness. We are kind through our actions and whole being. We give others the freedom we all deserve. It is easy to demand free will, but it is challenging to allow others to exercise their free will. We are able to admit our mistakes and take responsibility for our actions. With these guidelines in mind, it is easier to understand that the foundation of faithism is the study and pursuit of Amarath and Ahiba. Amarath means divine forgiveness, and Ahiba is unconditional love. For faithists, the cultivation of Amarath and Ahiba are essential lessons on the path for soul growth. Many faithists adhere to a vegetarian or vegan diet to reduce suffering, but being vegan and vegetation, and that should be vegetarian, does not give anyone supremacy. So that's a little snapshot of what faithists are. Little summary of our history for anyone who's interested. So welcome to my channel. And I want to also say I've updated the comment information section. I don't know how you get to it on my channel here on YouTube, but I've updated the information in my comment section on YouTube. I've put the brothers' links, other brethren, faithist brethren, and their channels. I've also included a link for if there's anybody who within the sound of my voice and you need charity, there's a link there that you can click on and you can get in contact with me, and I will use this channel. It might not be a real popular, well-known channel, but if you ask me, you can't sell the Creator short. All this trouble in the world right now with these wars that we're involved in and the situation over in the Middle East is primarily because of one man, Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel. Is primarily because of one man. So if one man, if a false god, if a Drusian a Druidian spirit can influence one man to do all the damage that's being done in the world right now and will be done, then what do you think the creator can do? You see what I mean? So this is a inconsequential channel. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. It's a and faith this brethren, they don't get the acknowledgement, the attention. I'm talking about all faithless brethren, the work that they are doing, they don't really get the acknowledgement they deserve. You know what I mean? Them brothers in the comment sections that I got their links to their channels too. Those videos are really the only hope. Those channels, those brethren's channel, are really the only hope for the world. And they get hardly no attention. They do not get nearly the attention they deserve. And the creator, he chooses spirits that don't seek vainglory. When you build a foundation, people don't often find out who you are until way, 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 way later. Not that that's important. Vainglory is not important at all to a faithist. You know how the world is famous for seeking vainglory. Everywhere you look in the news, there's always somebody doing something to get some attention. Faithists, they come out of that. They don't believe that no more. They don't seek to be the center of attention. It have to be that way if you a faithist. You call to do battle against yourself, because if you do not learn how to subdue the passions and the lust of the flesh, the desire to be preeminent among others, to have other people serve you, then the creator, he can't use you. He can't use you. And that's what it's all about. Our whole existence. We here, we on the earth, we get put into all kinds of situations that tell you you have to let go of the self, man. You have to let it go. You have to do battle with the self every single day, man. There's some vibration that rub you the wrong way. That's the creator saying you must overcome that and respond according to the fruits of the spirit of 1 Corinthians 13. No other way around. It got to be that way. You're only going to go through this thing one time, meaning the flesh. And for a faithless brother, it's all good after that, man. It's all good after that. If you have ever been on the earth, I mean, well, yeah. Well, and you work for something, when you work for something all your life, man, and then you finally reach the culmination of all that you have worked for. Do you not think that the creator can knock your socks off? You know what I mean? Now, I know that might sound childish, but I believe it. I'm a man in my early 60s, and I that sounds like I believe a fairy tale, but I believe it. I believe that the creator, that he put us here. I didn't know the creator till a couple of years ago, but he put his seed in me ever since I was a young 11, 12-year-old, 12-year-old, 11, from when I was just a child, I had a seed in me that, and I'm sure it's the same way for all you brethren too, most of you brethren, for us faithists, I knew I had something in me. I couldn't, well, I won't go down that road. You can guess what I'm getting ready to say. I say it all the time. But my point was that, well, I forgot my point. I think it has something to do to the effect that the creator is raising up brethren scattered all over the world, because the time has come for us to help lay the foundation. And I wanted to before I go on, I really want to emphasize the comment section. I updated it. I asked you to take a look at it. It has information in there if you want a free OAHSPE. If you want a free OAHSPE, the information is in the link there. How to get a free OAHSPE. That's it right there. That's what it looks like. And then also, it's got a link for, let me see, I didn't put it up here, I don't think, or did I? It's got a link in there for any brother or sister who wants a 6-volume set, a free 6-volume set. I'll send it out to you. I just ask you don't take advantage of me. You know, I'm not a rich brother. I believe that I have what I have, the Creator done given it to me. I believe that everything I have, I believe the Creator, He outfitted me so that I can do ministry. That's what I truly believe. And I really, I mean, you know, the Creator He's really blessed me. And so I think the message is now you turn around and you see how you can help other brethren, you know. So I've also got a link in there. Now I really want to emphasize this part right here because I talk a lot about the situation in the world, and there's danger on the horizon. And I don't like to try to fearmonger nobody, man. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not, you know, I'm in the situation with everybody else. I'm retired. I don't have to work. I sit at home. I keep up with geopolitical events on the internet. That's my flavor. That's my ministry, I believe. You know, the links, the beauty of the different ministries that are listed in the commentary section of Faithist. We got our own flavor. The Creator is giving you, He's raising up brethren who got their own flavor of how they interpret the OAHSPE. We're each equipped to bring our, you might call it, gift to the, whatever you want to call it, the ceremony, the occasion, you know how people bring gifts to, you know, different events and occasions. It's the same way. They're brethren. We have different flavors that we bring to our brethren, different understandings. I've listed some of the brethren there in the comment section. There's a brother who's got the Thursday ministry that I've really been trying to push because the brother, the way he does it on Thursday is pretty, it's I think full of power, man. It's the way he does it on Thursday. It's only for 40 minutes. We put our voices, we put our energy, we say out the prayer out loud, and then we say it silently. His link is in the comment section, full of high grade. Well, it's only 3 or 4 of us at any given time right now. But like I said, the Creator, He can use, it don't matter, you know. If He can use, if a Drusian, if a false god can use one man, Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, to bring all of this destruction that you see, then what do you think the Creator can do? You see my point? And the destruction, you know, things have been set in motion, man, you know, and we're going to feel it. So that's one of the reasons I'm real, you know, if you want the 6-volume set, contact me. I got the information there. Just don't take advantage of me. There's also a link for brethren who need charity. If you need charity, man, you know, don't be proud. Do not be proud, man. I got a link in there where you can contact me, and I will surely get on this little ministry right here, and I will cry out for you. I will keep you incognito, and I will get on here. I'll go before the Creator. I'll go before you, brethren here, who listen to who come on this channel here, other Faithists. I'm coming to you. So maybe you better decide if you want to be a part of this thing, because if some brother cries out and they can prove they're in distress, I'm coming straight. I'm coming straight to my other brethren and sisters, man. You know, It seemed like that's what the Creator said our future is going to be. Community of brethren, sharing, having ownership of nothing, man. Nothing. That is the future. That's the kingdom of the Creator on earth. If you have a problem, if you a little rough for you to, prepare yourself for that type of reality, better change that. That's got to change, man. On this channel, I just try to be as real as possible, man. For the short time that I have left, I try to be as real as possible. And I do talk a lot about things that people don't want to hear about. I understand that. I can't let it stop me from sharing my inner light. This is my inner light. This is my vibration, to warn you, to encourage you, to talk about the good things, to talk about the differences, and to talk about the ups and the advantages and the disadvantages of our reality. And I do not apologize one bit. Even if I have to walk all on my own, I'm not going to change my tune. As long as I feel that I'm trying to be honest and speak the truth, I got no problems at all. I make mistakes, but I believe that the Creator, He will allow the spirit of the things that I'm saying to get through to you. So anyway, here's the 6-volume set. Let me see. I talked about the comment section. I talked about the link there for brethren who need charity. I talked about the, let's see, I've listed other brethren who, in their ministries. What else? I talked about the Thursday night study. Okay. Check. The name of the video tonight is called What's So Bad About the Lower Heavens? What's so bad about the lower heavens? And tomorrow or Friday, I'm going to talk about what's so great about the upper heavens. What's bad? What's so great? I think you're going to love the studies that I'm going to do. And then I'm going to read from Revelation, I think. I have that on deck after I get finished with the, when I get finished with the first study, I have another study set up. And now something is on my mind that I wanted to share. I wanted to share something. I forgot what it was, man. I forgot what it was. Oh, shoot. And I was trying to keep it in my mind. I can't remember it. I forgot. All right. Now, what was I going to do next? It's about the bottom of the hour. So it's about time for me to just go into the study. The study is called What's So Bad About the Lower Heavens? What's so bad about the lower heavens? And we as faithists, it's good for us to keep these things in our heart, that we have been called. We are very, very fortunate people, man. Very, very fortunate. I'm not saying we're better than anybody, but it's still unbelievable to me how it's still unbelievable to me how some people can be called to come into the light of this knowledge and other people have not been. They will be. Everybody there, I remember, I don't know where I read it. I think I read it in one of the apocryphal books or somewhere where it says something like, if I think it was the Jesus of the New Testament that said that if God lost anything, He wouldn't be God. And this, you translate that, you substitute the Creator for God, and it's true for the Creator, man. You know it's true. If the Creator lost anybody, if anyone, no matter how bad they were, and the things that they have done on the earth, if the Creator lost them, you cannot call the Creator all powerful. He lost something. He lost something that He created. So it would not make sense. If He's the Creator, that means He don't lose anything. And so it's bittersweet what we going through right now. It's a bittersweet deal that we got going on. Remember in Revelation, it said, in our mouth, this book would be sweet, but in our belly, it would be bitter. It's amazing how true that is, man, with the OAHSPE. Let me see. Uh, let me digress for 1 second. Let me try to find it and bring it up. It's just an amazing thing, man. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Where? Where? Um, uh, okay, here we go. It's got so many translations here. Check it out. Revelation 10, or yeah, is it Revelation 10? I think it is. John, he goes to the angel. He says to the angel, remember, the angel comes down, has a book. John approaches, says, give me the little book. And the angel said, here, take it, eat it up. It shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall make thy mouth sweet as honey. And that's the OAHSPE to a T, man. Right there, spoken of cryptically in Revelation. And you know, I also learned what I did, I tested my theory. I tested my little theory of the OAHSPE, whether it cracks open the Bible, the obscurity, the mystery of the Bible. And I also tested my theory with the Quran, you know, the Bhagavad Gita, the Pistis Sophia, the Urantia book, the Emerald Tablets, the Keys of Enoch, and any book that I could think of to see if the same theory applies. And I'm telling you, brethren, you ought to do it yourself. You ought to do it yourself. Just go do it like I did it. Just go pull up some AI, whatever. Okay, I use Grok, DeepSeek. DeepSeek was so good. Now they monetized it. Remember, I was telling y'all about DeepSeek and how it sunk a whole industry a couple of years ago because they put it out there for free. And the primary AI program was ChatBTT or something, and it nearly destroyed it because they put it out there for free, and it was 1,000 times better. And I just flipped out, man, because it illustrated to me that in the Cosmic era, power was going to be handed over to me. It was a picture of how power was going to be handed over to the people. Freely you have received, freely give. And then they disappointed me and went and put it behind a paywall now, you know? And I said, yep, even the Chinese are subject to human nature, you know, profit, greed, which reminds me of something else, man. I remembered it. Isn't that amazing? I remember what to create. See, that's the danger. Now I'm going all over the place. That's the problem, man. That is, now I'm starting to go all over the place again. Now I'm starting to go all over the place so that I don't remember nothing. Doggone it. I got to start centralizing. Oh, man. Okay, let me just try to stay with this, what I'm talking about. The man is he's given a book, and I was just talking about it because it's interesting. I took all those books and I tested my theory, and I'm asking you just to do the same thing. Go bring up your AI machine on your time. Bring up your AI machine on your time, and let me see. How do you do it? How do you do it? Then bring up the Bible, and then say something like, and then get a verse from the Bible, or just go to Revelation. Go to Revelation and say something like this. Say to the AI, say say something like, translate this verse in the spirit of AI, or translate this verse according to the OAHSPE. Translate this verse according to the OAHSPE. Translate this verse according to the. Matter of fact, I'll do it right here before your face. I'll do it right now. See, here in Revelation, it says, give me the little book. He takes it, eats it, and his belly is bitter and his mouth sweet as honey. The OAHSPE is sweet as honey because it's letting you know what is good for you. But the practice of it is pretty bitter, man. You know, a good example is how a lot of us choose to refrain from eating meat. Every corner of your block has a meat church, where you go in and worship meat, you know, like Wendy's and Church's Chicken, you know, and all you can eat meat steak buffet. That's a vexation on a faithist. And it's everywhere, begging you, asking you to submit, you know, break your faith. You see, it's bittersweet. And that's what the OAHSPE is kind of bitter to us in that way. But now let me show you what I'm talking about here in real time. In real time, let me show you. I hope that you like it. Now, the principle of spiritual books is they get pretty close to the principles of the OAHSPE, like, you know, do good, you know, spirituality, you know, that sort of thing. So they get kind of close, but you're going to see the difference between the OAHSPE and these other books. Okay, now here's Grok, right? I haven't forgotten about the title. I'm going to get to it. I'm like I usually do. I'm digressing. Now look here. You can do this too, and it built your faith if you do it. Now give me a chance to think for a second. Okay, now let me see. Let me pick a book. Now shoot. Okay, now check this out. Let me try to do it like this. Summarize Revelation chapter 10 according to the Urantia book. Okay, now check it out. Now, I couldn't get with the Urantia book. I couldn't feel it. I'm not trying to put it like down or anything. I can't, you know, I couldn't feel it. I couldn't feel the Quran. I couldn't feel Keys of Vina. I couldn't feel Pistis Sophia was a little better. Third Testament was pretty cool, but it pointed to Jesus Christ. And you're going to see what I mean. See, look, let's see if it can get to the. Okay, now let me try to read some of this. Now, I'm trying to show how other spiritual books cannot crack the Bible like the OAHSPE can. Okay, it says the Urantia book, right? The Urantia book, often called the fifth. Now, I'm not saying that it's not you. There is some profitability in all these spiritual books. I definitely believe there's some profitability, knowledge-wise, in all spiritual books. I believe that. But then that's where the problem can be too. you get drawn into it so that you exclude all other things. You don't know where the rub is, where the difference is. You don't know where the separation is from one book to the other. It's all kind of, it just kind of mingles, it just kind of merges, and you don't know how to distinguish one from another. It says the Urantia book, often called the fifth epochal revelation, it presents itself as a new, expanded revelation that clarifies and expands on spiritual truths, okay? Including cosmology, the life of Jesus, and universal administration. It says here, it views John's work on Patmos as inspired but heavily altered by later human transmission, editing, and loss of content. Now, it should say, let's see if it'll say why it believes it was heavily altered. It says John's visions are understood in Urantia teachings as partly drawing from celestial presentations or glimpses, or heavenly realms like Jerusalem or higher administrative spheres, mixed with symbolic apocalyptic imagery that became distorted over time. It says the book does not treat biblical revelation as a precise roadmap for end-time events on Urantia, which is Earth. So they call Earth Urantia. The Urantia book can be translated the book of the earth. It says instead, it emphasizes evolutionary progress toward light and life. It also emphasizes the sovereignty of Jesus, which they call Michael of Nabadon, and personal spiritual growth over dramatic apocalyptic literalism. It downplays sensational prophecy fulfillment in favor of broader universe realities. So this is pretty obscure. It's not as precise as the OAHSPE, okay? It's all I can see right now. Let's see if this will help us about what the Urantia book would say more specifically about Revelation 10. It does list some good principles here, but they're generalizations, spiritually speaking, pretty much. Right now, it's pretty much just speaking generally. This is pretty much just general. They're just generally speaking, pretty much. How they look at Revelation. They say it's a new expanded revelation. It clarifies and expands on, okay, anybody could say that, universal administration. It says, glimpses of heavenly realms. Okay. Anybody, it's not really giving us good specifics that point to our day, the Urantia book. Okay. And then it says, for context, Revelation 10 describes, so they're going to give us, it looks like they're going to go more specifically. Now, you see if you can feel it. This is how the Urantia book looks at Revelation 10. It says, Revelation 10 describes a mighty angel with a little open book scroll who stands on the sea. Now, remember, we just got finished reading that the OAHSPE says that little book is the OAHSPE. It's bitter in our belly. It's sweet to the taste. It's like the knowledge is good, it's sweet, but the practice is bitter for us as faithists in a world that's thoroughly opposed to the way we believe and practice. Okay? It said it roars like a lion with 7 thunders that John is told not to record. Okay, those 7 thunders, the OAHSPE, it deals with that too. It says those 7 thunders are it says that the OAHSPE says they are future prophecies that we are not ready for right now. As faithists, we're not ready for those 7 thunders, I think, as if I recall correctly. it goes on, it says, the Rancher book swears that there will be no more, or no, wait a minute, Revelation 10 swears that there will be no more delay in the mystery of God and instructs John E. through. Okay, so all this is just pretty much, now here it says Urantia readers sometimes see symbolic parallels to celestial messengers, open revelations, or bittersweet nature of truth prophecy, but these are interpretive rather than authoritative from the text itself. In short, according to the Rancher book, any specific summary of Revelation 10 would be limited by the text's own admission of distortion in the biblical version. The focus shifts to the fuller restored spiritual cosmology and Jesus' teachings presented in the Rancher papers instead. If you're studying this, blah, 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 it ain't saying nothing. I don't want to sound harsh. Now, if I went back to Revelation 10, you will see the difference. In other words, they can't really comment on what it's saying. Okay, the Rancher book we can't see anything other than generalized, obtuse type of language that don't really lead you nowhere. It's not. See, again, if we look at Revelation, now, see, look here. Summarize Revelation chapter 10 according to the OAHSPE. Now, I just want to show you the difference. How we can see when something is anointed from other spiritual works. Okay? Now look at what the OAHSPE has to say real quick. In Revelation 10, it says the mystery of God. Revelation 10:7. OAHSPE detailed cycle charts in the arachnobula Hagala plate. In the OAHSPE is basically like the arachnobula is like a timetable plates that show you cycles of time. If I'm not mistaken, it says are seen by some as revealing God's prophetic schedule. Okay, yeah, arachnobula is revealing God's prophetic schedule and the mystery of divine timing and cycles and biblical prophecy. Okay, so let's get to something more specific. Okay, they're saying that's what the little book is. Really, they're pointing to the OAHSPE because the arachnobula is in the OAHSPE. So it's saying the mystery of God being finished is the revealing of the OAHSPE. Okay, the mystery of God spoken. Remember, it said that the mystery, it said that, what does it say? The seven thunders sounded, and the time and the mystery of God would be finished. And it's saying that the OAHSPE is the ending of the mystery of God. The OAHSPE is showing us the end of the mystery of God. We know things like God, there's a difference between a God and a Lord. We know that there are layers of heavenly realms, and we know about spiritual grades, and we know about the Druges. We know about false gods. We know about, creation of the earth and, that sort of thing. The mystery of God, how mortals are influenced and the afterlife and specifics. It's the mystery of God is finished. Not all the way, you know what I mean? But way far more than what we're used to. It says the mystery of God, the OAHSPE, the opening, the revealing of the OAHSPE shows the transition into the cosmic era, greater light, knowledge, and faith is Jehovah-centered living. It says the angelic messengers and the little books. It says OAHSPE, remember there were angelic messengers, and in Revelation 10 it talks about, let me see, I can't go back into it now. Let me read this first. It says OAHSPE itself is framed as a new revelation or a little book. See, the OAHSPE is framed as that little book that John is given of truth. It's delivered through angelic hosts for a new age, echoing themes of open scrolls, angelic declarations. See, really what it's talking about in short is the advent of the 1800s and the rise of spiritualism, those were angelic hosts preparing the earth for the cosmic. Well, that's when it began. Remember 1848? That's when the spiritualism movement began. And then we got the OAHSPE in 1868 or 69 or somewhere around there. So the OAHSPE is telling you specifically, is telling you in detail the difference in translating Revelation. It says angelic declarations and bittersweet prophecy, which is truth that is sweet to receive, but challenging to live and proclaim. That's us. We're in that situation. How we had to fight ourselves. The OAHSPE, it called us to stop stop being living for self. Quit trying to get, your own way, selfish. It's automatic writing, origin, and content, parallel ideas of inspired prophecy. Okay, the seven thunders and trumpets. It says these loose associations appear in some modern discussions, linking OAHSPE's teaching on heavenly hosts, judgments, and cycles to apocalyptic imagery. But these are interpreted. Okay, they're not really telling us much there about the seven thunders and trumpets. If we looked at it, it would tell us, if I dug into this, it would tell us that the seven thunders and trumpets, it points to the cleansing of the earth. You know how they're like seven trumpets and they all signify some event on earth. And then you ask a Christian what those mean, and it's all doom, death, and destruction because of the language. The seven trumpets, the first angel blew his trumpet and all the Euphrates River dried up, The second angel blew his trumpet and all the green grass was burnt up. And their perception is all negative. But if we got into it, if I did a study on the seven thunders and trumpets, it's all the purifying, dissolving of evil. With each of those trumpets, there's another leg kicked out from under the rotten institutions that oppress and destroy. And what's another good word for keep men in bondage? So I'm not doing that right now, but just to give you an idea. Now, how the OAHSPE details the book of Revelation, whereas the Urantia book, we couldn't really get much out of that. The OAHSPE goes into detail that it pertains to our life right now, in the past, and in the future. Okay, I'm late for the study, way late for the study. It says here, you can read this. It says, OAHSPE reframes spiritual history through Jehovah the Creator, emphasizing evolution of souls, cycles of light, eventual cosmic era, which is enlightenment, rejection of organized religious dogmas. Okay, so it gave us a little bit. I didn't do a verse by verse study, but it still gave us enough to know that the OAHSPE goes into detail. It goes into a detail like the Urantia book doesn't do. And I'm sure if I brought up the Emerald Tablets, and Pistis Sophia, these other spiritual books, you would see the difference. I'm just trying to get you to see the genuineness of the OAHSPE, the knowledge of the anointed knowledge of the OAHSPE, that this is the creator separating himself from the other spiritual books. But the other spiritual books, they're profitable in some ways. They do have some profit, in some ways. But the OAHSPE, he separates himself. It's not a book to be worshipped. I'm saying it's the best we got right now. There's a lot of good. Spiritualism is multifaceted, man. People opening their minds, wondering about the afterlife and wondering about eternity. That's spiritualism, And there's a lot. It's a multifaceted thing, man. People speaking on all kinds of different subjects, So anyway, You can read that if you want. I wanted to just basically point out the detail that the OAHSPE goes into on your time. You could do the same thing. Compare the, like, pick out a spiritual book and then do something like go to the Bible and say, what does this book say about this chapter right here, this verse right here? And then see if you can receive it. And you'll see how the OAHSPE separates itself. So I took a long time to say a little bit right there. Let's go into the study. Let's go into the study. The title is, What's So Bad About the Lower Heavens? Why trip on the lower heavens, man? Ain't no big thing, We all gonna elevate anyway. Why can't I live it up now? What's wrong with the earth? Why you got to be hating, man? How come you got to be a killjoy, Well, I'm ready to share about the lower heavens. I'm gonna talk about the lower heavens, man, and why it's good to avoid that stuff, avoid the lower heavens, Now just bear with me a second while I bring it up. Um, Okay, I did a little study on the lower heavens, and I let me make my screen. Okay, there we go. And it's doing something. Oh, okay, there we go. I didn't know what to do there. All right, here we go. What's so bad about the lower heavens? This is a good study to show you the seriousness of what everything is all about, man. What's so bad about the lower heavens? I don't see it. I ain't never heard about it. What's so bad about the lower heavens? You say that ultimately the OAHSPE is all good and that we all going to resurrect anyway. So what's the big deal, man? That means that I can have it now and I can also have it later. What's the big deal? Why you got to be hating, man? Why you got to put, put us under a yoke, man? What's so bad about the lower heavens? I heard that when I cross over, they're going to help me anyway if I want to be helped. What's so bad about it, man? It ain't no thing. I can deal with it, It ain't nothing. Why don't you leave me alone? Don't talk to me about that stuff. What's so bad about the lower heavens? In OAHSPE, there is nothing inherently evil or punitive about going to the lower heavens after death. Let me see. Is there any way I can make this bigger? I wonder. Bear with me 1 second. Let me try to make it. Can I make this bigger? Oh, look at that. All right. I did it. All right. Now I can't see half the screen though. Oh, okay. There we go. I stretched it. What's so bad? What's so bad about the lower heavens? In OAHSPE, there is nothing inherently evil or punitive meant to punish you. In other words, there's nothing inherently evil or punitive about going to the lower heavens after death. They serve a purpose in the soul's progression. They serve a purpose in the soul's progression. However, they are far from ideal. They involve limitations and suffering and represent a detour or delay on the upward journey toward the higher light. Freedom and closeness to Jehovah. Here is the core perspective. What the lower heavens are. Okay, here are the core perspectives of what the lower heavens are. They are the lowest spirit realms. They are the lowest spirit realms, often called the first resurrection, or regions near the earth where newborn angels, meaning recently deceased mortals, they begin if their earth, it is the region near the earth where newborn angels begin if their earthly life was dominated by physical desires, selfishness, and animalistic habits, including meat eating, violence, or low thoughts. Okay. These are the lower heavens. These are the lower heavens. These places are denser and more attached to earthly conditions and influenced by drujas, which are unprogressed or dark spirits. Lower angels and lingering earthly problems. They resemble a shadowy or a mixed version of earth life. A shadowy or a mixed version of earth life. These are the lower heavens. A shadowy or mixed version of earth life. So what's wrong with them? Meaning problematic. All right, so what? They're shadowy, they're mixed. Okay. There's lower, unprogressed dark spirits there. There are lingering earthly problems. Okay, I got that here. So what's the big deal? What's the problem? What's the problem with the lower heavens? Delayed progress and bondage. Souls remain bound to lower conditions longer. They must serve their time working through attachments, desires, and errors before rising. Like we here on the earth, Vedas, we got to work through our attachments and desires and our errors. We have to work now. Vedas go to work right now, trying to learn to be selfless, try to learn to serve our brother. It says, higher heavens offer greater wisdom, power, joy, and service to Jehovah's kingdoms. So what's wrong with the lower heavens? Limited happiness and light. Limited happiness and light. Lower realms have more darkness, confusion, hardship, and unfulfilled desires. Souls may experience a kind of purgatorial state, repeating patterns from earth, dealing with regrets, or being influenced by darker entities before achieving clarity and peace. And the same principle, really, man, it's in the earth, The same principle is in the earth. I remember I used to play baseball, and when we would practice and practice and practice, and then at some point, man, the coach would just stop, and he would say, "Do it again." He would say, "Do it again," and it would be something we hated. And the principle is the same right now on the earth. It's the same. Okay, you don't want to do it on earth. You're going to go into your spirit, and they're going to tell you, do it again. You're going to have to do it again, man. You're going to do it again. You're going to do it again, man. Before achieving clarity and peace, light and life and resurrection. Look at here. Look. Missed opportunities for higher service. Missed opportunities for higher service. All of us right now, man, we want to be, you go past a high rise and you wish that you worked on the top floor because they got it easier than people on the lower floors. You want it easier on yourself. We really want it easier on ourselves, man. I don't want the present affliction, that the day by day affliction. I'm positive it's the same for you, brethren, too, man. I, I mean, in my heart, man, I want to be done with the earth. It's like I don't want to be, because I love to try to redeem the time, share the light, spread the light. But man, I have to admit to hating the vexations and the afflictions, which are meant to help me to grow. I realize it's got to be that way. But if I were to be honest, man, I don't like them. I don't like the things I see. I don't like other people, how, you know what I mean? I know it's the same most likely for other faiths too. The things you have to see while you're on the red star, the earth. Missed opportunities. We're on the earth now, man, but many have missed opportunities for higher service, missed opportunities. In higher heavens, angels engage in grander work, helping mortals build new worlds, advancing creation. Lower heaven souls are more self-focused, are remedial. You got to do it again. Remedial. Do it again. What does the word remedial mean, man? It means to do it all over again. In so many words. What does remedial? Let me see. How do I do this without blowing everything up? I'm going to go to another page. You can't see it. I'm going to read it. What does remedial mean? What does remedial mean? Remedial means a remedial what? No, I just simply ask what the word means. What does the word remedial mean? Remedial refers to actions or instructions intended to correct, improve, or cure a deficiency, problem, or lack of skill. It is commonly used in educational contexts for students needing extra help or to describe corrective measures for issues like structural damage or poor performance. In other words, you have to do it again, or do it over, or be further instructed. When you miss your opportunity, man, for the higher service, we're here on the earth. It's a miracle that faithists are chosen to have the opportunity for higher service. Each and every faithist has the opportunity for higher service. Not everybody is called to come into the light. That's just a fact, man. That is a serious fact. What are the lower heavens like? Connection to earthly habits. Behaviors like meat eating, strong drink, selfishness, or warlike tendencies anchor the soul here. OAHSPE links diet and lifestyle directly to the grade 1 enters. Diet and lifestyle, man, is directly linked to your grade. It's directly linked to the grade 1 enters. If you picture like the afterlife, it's like, there are layers. Okay, grade from 1 to 100. Okay, grade 1, you go here. Grade 2, you go there. Grade 3, you go there. Grade 4, you go there. Grade 5, you go there. Grade 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You see what I mean? Those are like layers, spiritual layers in the heavenlies. You go to your grade. The higher up your grade. And I know I for one, I can't live like that, trying to have a high grade. I just can't, man. It's, maybe someone else can. I don't know if hardly any brethren are like that. You just have to be you. You're going to return to who you really are. OAHSPE links diet and lifestyle directly to the grade 1 enters. Diet and lifestyle. Your diet and lifestyle. It says pure herbivorous living, veganism, pure herbivorous living helps souls rise faster. Helps souls rise faster to emancipate or freer heavens. It says, OAHSPE's overall view, the afterlife is not eternal damnation. Praise Jehovah. The afterlife is not eternal damnation. All souls eventually rise through effort, angelic help, and Jehovah's mercy. Lower heavens are part of a merciful greater system for learning and purification, the lower heavens. But the goal is to continue upward movement toward Etherian realms of light, wisdom, and oneness with the Creator. Jehovah desires souls to enter higher realms quickly through righteous living on earth, choosing habits that lead to the lower heavens simply means more work later. And they forget to add longer. And it says here, why not aim through purity, good works, and faith? In short, nothing is wrong in the sense of permanent failure, but it is suboptimal, less than optimal, a slower, harder path with less joy and usefulness compared to the higher heavens available to those who live by the higher light while on earth. OAHSPE encourages striving for the best possible start after death. That's a good phrase right there. Head start, man. Head start. Head start. Head start, man. That's something really only a faithist can appreciate. Head start is basically the advantage that a faithist has, the ability to comprehend that our life is our opportunity to avoid the lower heavens, which one thing they don't mention here is it doesn't talk about the length of time a person can spend in the lower heavens, because you have to overcome your consciousness. If your consciousness on the earth is telling you to reject the light, it's going to tell you the same thing in the lower heavens. If your consciousness, matter of fact, let me let's look at that. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. I'm going to ask. I'm going to. I'm going to use AI here for a second. Let me see. What's a good question? How do you say it? Um, does the OAHSPE say that it takes longer for a unenlightened mortal to achieve resurrection in the spiritual? I don't know. That might work. It might not. Let's see if they can. Okay. Does the OAHSPE say that it takes longer for an unenlightened mortal to achieve resurrection in the spiritual? It says yes. OAHSPE teaches that unenlightened or low grade mortals, unenlightened or low grade mortals, I lost my spot. It says, yes, OAHSPE teaches that unenlightened or low grade mortals generally face a slower, look at that, it says more difficult path to spiritual resurrection and progress compared to the enlightened. It says OAHSPE describes a multi level system of resurrections, which are spiritual awakenings and ascent after death. It says the first resurrection is the initial stage after death for most spirits, or otherwise known as Essenes. It is often inorganic or loosely organized, focused on basic association and overcoming earthly ties. Many spirits here remain near earth, attached to mortals, or in lower atmospheria. Second resurrection, a higher, more organized stage involving communities, self-abnegation, good works, and alignment with Jehovah the Creator rather than false gods, saviors, or earthly desires. Faithists, meaning those living by Jehovah's light, can enter this more readily. Higher stages lead toward etherian, higher heavenly realms. Druges, these are spirits below the first resurrection. Now, let me see, is that right? Spirits below, let me see, are they saying that right? Or should it be part of the first resurrection? Druges, spirits below. Okay, there we go. Druges, spirits below the first resurrection, often ignorant, bound by earthly habits, or lacking individuality, represent the unenlightened state. Mortals dominated by druges, or low desires, lust, gluttony, greed, violence, hypocrisy, or idol worship, become like them upon death and may linger in darkness for years. Look at that. Decades or longer. Years in darkness, lingering decades. And I think the OAHSPE even says something like thousands of years. The OAHSPE, I think it even says something like thousands of years. I'm going to try to find that. It says, if a mortal rules their Lord desires and druges in life, their spirit rises more easily into the first resurrection and helps lift attached druges. So if we have druges on us and we live according to the Creator, then we resurrect them as well. It says, if druges rule the mortal, though, the spirit often joins them in bondage, fastening on to others or places, remaining in ignorance and stagnation until higher angels intervene. So now we got this struggle over our soul. Either we're winning or the druges is winning. We can know who is winning or who is losing based on our fruits. Based on our fruits. If we're more for ourself, then the druges, that is, the druges is winning in the sense that they're influencing us more than us influencing them. It says unenlightened spirits, meaning tied to self or earthly things or false religions or chaos, progress slowly. Look at here. They require more time, labor, and angelic assistance for deliverance and advancement. In contrast, those aligned with light, good works, and Jehovah advance faster into organized resurrections. It says, in the cosmic era, grades and rates of mortals and angels determine placement. It's amazing how much sense, man, the Creator makes. I mean, it's only logical, the things that he says here, reaping what you sow and, not giving you more than what you deserve, more than what you worked for. I mean, we live in a reality where people, they like it where they can receive more than they deserve, get more than they are, where they can get more than they paid for, getting something without paying for it. It's like a badge of honor where we live. Get much as you can to quit. I got to get mine. Nobody's taking it away. No, because Hammer don't play that. You better step back, freeze, because you don't want none. I hustle for my money, and you look weak, son. Attachment to beasts, which are idols or saviors, can extend the time needed to break free. OAHSPE emphasizes personal responsibility through works. And it should sound logical, man. You know what I mean? It should make sense, man. Personal responsibility. You know, I mean, it's hard to argue with that. You shouldn't try to get what you have not worked for. We're fortunate we don't get what we deserve. Don't you agree? Do you not agree, man? If you were really honest with yourself, the creator, you just can't beat his system of justice. You can't beat it, man, you know? And it makes it more worthwhile when you receive what it is that you've been working for. And you receive much more, really, because the creator gives each of us way more than we deserve, man. He asks us to do a little, and then we get, I mean, you got to figure, man, the resurrection that we can't even imagine. That's one thing that should keep you going. Every day, man, you're getting closer and closer. You're one day closer, man, to your dreams coming true. You one day closer, man. That's the only thing that keeps me going. You know, and when you look back and you see that you have tried, you have built a little mountain, you know what I mean? And then every day gets a little easier in your mind to rejoice. And that's what the whole world is looking for. They don't know how to find it because all they know is how to serve themselves. They just, remember, I gotta say this again, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it again right now. Now you can't see the screen I'm looking at, and it's headlines. These are headlines. This is all we get fed in this reality. It's just a little sample of all that we get. All we get fed is selfishness. People, I'm looking at the headlines right now. Now it's a lot of negativity, so I ain't gonna read it. Talking about Trump and but it shows you a lot of people who are getting over. This dude just signed $1 million contract, goes out immediately and buys, $500,000 luxury vehicles. Wow, this is a trip, man. I just came across this. It ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. It says high fat McDonald's meal may have caused brain fog, which led to a tired nurse plowing into 3 deputies. Wow, that's a trip. High fat McDonald's meal. Look at that. They say it may cause this nurse, she was tired, a high fat McDonald's meal. Y'all can Google it. I'm reading this right now. I wasn't meaning to read something like this, but it's a real trip. High fat McDonald's meal may have caused brain fog, which led to a tired nurse plowing into 3 deputies. I wonder if the creator is going to show the world to get off of meat. I wonder if he's going to show if do it. How so mostly okay now most but it's a lot of it is negative, so I don't care to read it. Okay, it's not what I'm used to seeing here, you know. I'm trying to find some, you know. Usually you read, you know, superstar buys luxury mansion, you know, you know, you know, famous movie star documents trip to Venice. You know, you get my drift. You brethren get my drift, you know. It's usually something where other people have it good and you don't. You know, they're on, you know, the beach somewhere and is teaching us, you know what I mean, to serve the self is basically what I was trying to point out. Serve yourself. So let me keep going here. OAHSPE emphasizes personal responsibility through works, not mere belief or profession. Personal responsibility through works, not mere belief or profession. By the works and behavior of mortals are all things known and proven. Enlightenment, meaning living in Jehovah's light and non-resistant, vegetarianism in context, communal good works, etc., accelerates the resurrection and ascent. Unenlightened states lead to slower evolution, potential obsession, lingering, greater need for external deliverance. It says this aligns with OAHSPE's broader cosmology of cycles of light and darkness and soul evolution. Progress is possible for all, but is slower and harder without prior spiritual development in mortal life, where we are right now. Where we are right now. It's a terrible shame. It's a terrible shame, man. You know, our reality is faithless to see the world, to see them basically waste the time. You waste the time. You don't find the light and you don't realize what the afterlife is. Nobody talks about it. Nobody understands it. Yet nobody wants to have to, what's a good word for reap what you sow, you know, that sort of thing. And that's where we live. And there ain't nothing that we can all do about it. Nothing that anybody can do about it. All right, so that's that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to read. Let me see. There's hold on one second. I'm going to read some I posted in my room. If I can find it. Oh, let me see. There's one. I definitely wanted to share that, but there was something else I got in mind. Ah, there it is. Because I was inspired to wow, this is a trip. Wow, this is a trip. Someone that I haven't known since high school just texted me. Why would they do that? Oh, that's a trip, man. Anyway, I I wanted to share this because it kind of piggybacks off of what I just got finished talking about. Self worship, a heavy vibration in the world, self worship. self-worship. And it led me, matter of fact, I remember now, something came across my feed with Madonna. Madonna, yeah. I was looking on the computer and she came up, right? And it had something to do. Evidently, she was a part of this Coachella, some festival or famous, and it got me to thinking. She's what, like in her mid-60s or something like that? In her mid-60s, and she still wants to be a teenager. You know, I don't know if I believe that much in astrology anymore. I looked at it. I'm in a conundrum when it comes to astrology and whether you know I it's something about the vibrations and the signs I think are real. I feel like I looked into it and the computer was saying, no, man, that stuff's not real. It's not proven, it's not real. And I'm like, so you trying to tell me something that I can see in people is not real, right? And now I'm in this struggle whether to believe it or what not, and why do I see it so clearly, in people? So I'm in that struggle, and that's why you haven't heard me refer to it that much anymore on the channel. And this article hit me, because I always knew she was a Leo. Leo is a sign of the eternal teenager. If I got that, let me see. Let me go online. Let me see. Which zodiac sign is the sign of the teenager? Leo. Leo? No, that's not true. Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio are no, we're not. It's Leo that's more the sign of the teenager. Virgo is the sign of the servant. Libra is the sign of the setting sun. The sunset, the sun of the soul setting. And Scorpio is the sign of that's not right. Now it does say Leo, and Madonna is a Leo, right? And it's like she wants to be, she keeps showing that she's a Leo, the eternal teenager. And there she was up there, acting like a teenager, in your mid 60s, man, and she's famous for what she taught women, younger women. She's real famous for her influence on younger women. She what she stood for. And it just got me to thinking, now what is the danger of when you are under that vibration where you under self-worship, man? What is the danger of that? You know what I mean? What is the danger? What does the OAHSPE say about self-worship? Because we got a whole world of people. That's a whole, especially America, proud, entitled, self-worship, man. The stars that they put in front of our faces, they teach to get it while you can. They showing you riches, big houses, teaching you self-worship, man. What really matters is what you can get. How materialism make you happy. It don't. Corporeality, people in front of our face constantly pointing us to the earth, constantly telling you to vibrate, to resonate with the earth. And so I seen that article on Madonna. Not that I really even care, but looking at it spiritually. So I wanted to do a little study on self-worship. It says, OAHSPE OAHSPE strongly condemns self-worship and related ideas like self-glorification, self-exaltation, and serving the beast self. That reminds me of something else, man. Like I said, I don't look at TV. I don't like to, I don't look at TV. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I just choose not to. And so I'm pretty much on the internet. My world is the internet, trying to keep up with geopolitical, whatever's coming our way that I can run and tell Faith this about so that we can prepare, so that we can look out, or any sign that the kingdom is coming, the kingdom is coming, the kingdom is coming, and tell you about it. And I came across a video where this guy, evidently, I don't know if it's fake or real, but there are a lot of guys turning away from women, dating, that sort of thing. They fed up, they tired, they just, it's a lot of videos like that. It's a terrible thing, man. I saw this one video where the guy, he said he was at a club, and I believe he was telling the truth. There's no reason for him to lie about it. He said he was at a function, or he went out, him and his friend went out, and he was meeting someone on a date or something to that effect. And she brought her friend, and they were at the date, and then her friend, the friend of the date of the woman, the one that the woman brought, said to the guy who was meeting her friend, her girlfriend, she said, "Hey, you can't afford her. Her tastes are too rich for you. Her tastes are too rich for you. In other words, you don't make enough. She's used to living the good life." And I said to myself, and that is a small snapshot of why it's hard for people to make it nowadays. That's a little snapshot, because if you look to serve yourself, or you look out for your own interests, you can't make it. You cannot make it, man. If you go against what the Creator, if you go against the commandments, if you go against the knowledge, the wisdom and knowledge of the Creator, where you look to serve the other person, you look to be selfless, and that's hard to do, man. I admit that's a hard thing to do. You cannot make it. And it seems like in the world today, the relationships that seem to be, all I can understand is what I see and what I read. And if there seems to be like a preponderance of the evidence, I look at the things that go on between people, and it usually has something to do with division of money, or unfaithfulness, or some other moral deficiency. And if it's like the Creator is showing, look, unless you do it my way, you can't make it. Unless you change your mind, man, unless you seek to serve. And I think that a lot of couples do, and they make it, but it seems like they're outnumbered, where people are brought up under Madonna to serve yourself, and men too. It ain't just her, that the young people, they look up and they see people telling them, I got millions of dollars. I got, Floyd Mayweather showing me that I got 100 cars. I have a staff of people to make sure a speck of dust don't fall on one of my cars, showing the younger people that what's important. And then we sit and we wonder why we're in the situation that we're coming. I'm telling you, I hate to say it, man. I'm telling you, brethren, I'm telling you, man, we we are coming to a situation where people are going to seek spiritual things. When you start, you do you know Pakistan? I think Pakistan is, oh, shoot, I'm offline. I think I'm offline. All right, think back up. Pakistan, you brother don't know that Pakistan is pretty much out of fuel and gas. Pakistan, the Asian nations. I'm sorry to keep talking about it. It's a situation that we're in right now that we don't feel it as much because the pipeline hits us last. But you brethren, in the coming months, we are certainly going to feel it. That's why I really feel it's important to, if somebody hears this video and you need charity, I got a link in my comment section. You better reach out to me, man, and if we're faithists and there's a brother or sister, man, that needs help, I mean, for real, you better let me know about it. Because I'm saying this stuff now, and I believe the Creator is putting it on my inner light to tell each of you brethren, we're approaching where the only thing that's going to be real, I got a video coming up. It's called The Rain Fell, the Winds Blew, and it's built around when calamity strikes, when chaos hits, what happens to people. And if the foundation of people is in the world, the foundation of the world is easily dissolved. It's sand. It's sand. And people lose it mentally when they see that their hope, their foundation, when it starts to crumble, mentally, people, I won't even say, man, I don't even want to say it, man. But I know that we're headed for that time. Economically, it says it views OAHSPE strongly condemns self-worship. OAHSPE strongly condemns self-worship and related ideas like self-glorification and self-exaltation and serving the beast, which means the self. It views them as core obstacles to spiritual progress, resurrection, and alignment with Jehovah, the Creator. Key teachings on self-worship. The beast, self. Early in OAHSPE, Book of Jehovah, the beast symbolizes the selfish, animalistic, corporal nature within man. It tempts people with possession, desire to possess, indulgence, riches, and self-interest. That's the beast. Possess thou whatsoever thou wilt, for all things are thine, and good for thee. Meaning that's what Satan told man in the OAHSPE. Obeying this leads to war, carnivory, which is meat eating, darkness, loss of connection to Jehovah. Self-glorification is a major failing. Why do you think it's so preeminent in America? If we're under a false god, what do you think? What philosophy do you think he's going to feed people? False gods or Druges or whoever is ruling over the unrighteous, unenlightened spirits. What do you think they're going to influence people to think and to do? To keep them unenlightened, to keep lower heavens populated? They're going to teach them self-glorification. Self-glorification. It says, false gods and leaders are criticized for using wisdom and power for self-glorification, proudly calling themselves gods, setting up personal kingdoms, teaching others to worship them instead of Jehovah. This shuts out the true light and binds souls to the lower realms. You cannot serve both Jehovah and self. The text emphasizes choosing between serving the Creator through self-abnegation, which means service to others, purity and peace, and serving self through serving self, meaning through passions, vanity, materialism, and ego. Self-worship aligns with the Uzian, worldly, destructive path rather than the faithist path of ascension. The worship of self blocks resurrection and higher heavens. True spiritual growth requires giving away talents. You hear that? Give away your talent. Give away your talent. If you can do something good, give it away, man. You know, people say, man, you're good at this, you're good at that. And then you search your inner light, the Creator will give you an outlet for that. What you like to do, what you secretly are good at, that other people, they don't say it, they don't tell you, but you know it in your soul. Each one of you got it within you to do something that you're the only one who can do it the way you do it, and as good as you can do it. I believe that, man, that we all got a gift. We all got a gift, man, you know? The worship of the self, it blocks resurrection and higher heavens. It blocks resurrection and higher heavens. It blocks it. Worship of the self, man. True spiritual growth requires giving away talents, goodness and light to others, not hoarding them for self-exaltation, locking up one's inner light, or seeking personal glory prevents strength of spirit and ascent to higher resurrections. Self-aspiration comes at the expense of others. So overall, the message, OAHSPE promotes self-denial, humility, and service as a path to glory. How do you like that? Worship belongs only to Jehovah, not to oneself, false gods, or worldly idols. Self-worship is portrayed as a fundamental delusion of the corporal, physical, sensual realm that keeps souls trapped in lower vibrations, cycles of suffering, separation from the divine. It ties directly into earlier topics we discussed: strict veganism, rejection of corporal passions, like those embodied by figures such as Madonna, like those embodied by figures such as Madonna. And the glory of true resurrection through transcending the self, man. That's the whole thing in a nutshell for us. Fighting, overcoming ourself, the passions of the self, desires, the influences of the self, to serve ourself, man. That's the whole thing right there. That's the battle. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. We're here on the earth. The Creator presents us with. He presents us with situations that go against our flavor, our flow, blocking our emotion, to teach you to, if you didn't have the desire to serve the self, then these things wouldn't have that much of an effect on us. Things that happen in life that cause you to be selfless or to be to give of yourself that we don't want to do. And that's the reason why they happen almost daily. Some situation, man, that cause you to try to teach you to hold your peace, you know, to forgive, to turn the other cheek. It says the OAHSPE view is strongly dualistic and ascetic. The ego, the beast, it must be mastered, man. That's the whole picture right there for us. The ego, the beast, man. Isn't that something? That's the eternal struggle, man. The ego, the beast, must be mastered or transcended for any real spiritual advancement. We only hurt ourselves, man, if we don't do battle with this thing. We only hurt ourselves, man. We have to do battle with the beast, man. We have to redeem the time right now. Redeem it for real, man. Redeem it. Redeem the time right now. We are the most, and without Vainglory, man. Faithists are the most blessed, incredible people with the opportunity they've been given. Future gods and goddesses told to start, Creator saying, start your resurrection right now. That means do battle with the self. I put you in a reality where you're surrounded, man. You're surrounded. You know, he don't put new wine into old wineskins. If he put this light in you, that means he knows you can hold that light. You can hold it, man. You can hold that light. You know, that means you can do it. And then it says, would you like specific hyper-references, quotes, unrelated topics of vanity, pride, virtue that counter self-worship, how this compares to other parts of text? Okay. Just something, a question they ask you at the end of each study. So anyway, that's a little something on self-worship. Now, I also found something else. I wanted to read this. Create. I posted it the other day. It's pretty good. And also, there's another thing. I don't know if I'm at time for it, but there's another that I wanted to read too. It says create. It says create. It is possible to create without any materials. We can see you questioning this statement. We can also see you having been frustrated in the past. This here comes from Radiance Anthology. Radiance Anthology. It's another book. It looks like it's as big as the OAHSPE. I got the link in the comment section. I don't know if YouTube, if there's any way you can see the comment section. I think they changed it on YouTube. I don't even know if you can see the comment section. I got all the information in there. Radiance Anthology is a book that they send you if you send an email to the theeloists in the comment section. I got the link in the description area of the video. You send them an email, they'll send you the OAHSPE for free. They also ask you if you want Radiance Anthology for free too. It's in the link in the description area. This comes from Radiance Anthology. It says create. It is possible to create without any materials. We can see you questioning. Now, Radiance Anthology is what I call angel messages. This is, these are messages from second resurrection angels given to someone. Radiance Anthology are angel messages given to a mortal who published them. If I'm not mistaken, Radiance Anthology. And it is a rat killer, man. There ain't nothing negative about this. There ain't nothing negative about Radiance Anthology, man. It's just a rat killer, man. It says create. It says it is possible to create without any materials. We can see you questioning this statement. We can also see you having been frustrated in the past by not knowing how to be creative or not having the resources you thought you needed. Impediments don't exist. Impediments don't exist. When you feel free to create, let's get this blue off the when you feel free to create, I'm in the top of the page. When you feel free to create, we are constantly surprised by the many variations of thought forms that are made and sent abroad by souls who have no more than a purpose and goodwill, meaning transfer of energy. Transfer of energy, man. They're saying that we can do it. That's what this is saying here. Look at what they're saying. They're saying we are constantly surprised by the many variations of thought forms that are made and sent abroad by souls who have no more than a purpose and goodwill. Talking about you. You think of somebody, you want to send them love, light, knowledge, wisdom, that sort of thing. You want to send them goodwill, protection. You can do it. We can do it. That's what they saying here. And plus, you hear that all the time in our community, you know, sending your energy. That's why that link I got is so important. That Thursday study, they tapped into that. Them brethren have tapped. Remember, do you remember what it says in Revelation? Do you remember the angel that had the golden censer? And it was filled with the prayers of the self-sacrificing. That's what the translation here. See, let's look at it again, man. I mean, because the OAHSPE is beautiful, man. The Creator giving us this understanding. The prayer was in golden censer with the prayers of the saints. Revelation. Let's look at this again, man, because they're telling us the same reading right now. Where is it at? Where is it at? Okay, Revelation 8. Okay. Let's bring that up real quick. Revelation 8. Revelation chapter 8, King James Version. Because the OAHSPE broke it down. The OAHSPE broke it down for us, what this means. It's part of the hidden manna of Revelation 2. Verse 3, verse 2, verse 1. And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was a silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the seven angels. It has something to do with the coming of the Cosmic era, in short. I looked at it a couple of videos ago. I can't remember what the breakdown of it was, but it has something to do with the approach of the Cosmic era. It says, and I saw the seven angels which stood before God, and to them were given seven trumpets. And another angel came, here it is, and another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer. And there was given unto him much incense. Now, that's all this says right here, right? The OAHSPE breaks it down, and it says that the censer is filled with the self-sacrifice of the saints. You know what we're called to do in the OAHSPE? We're called to sacrifice, to live selflessly, to serve. It says that's what this verse means right here. It says that the incense is filled with the prayers of the saints. The prayers is the self-sacrificing of the saints. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and because I want you to see it yourself. I want you to see it yourself, how the OAHSPE breaks this down. In the spirit of the OAHSPE. I'm going to get back to the reading. Just give me a second. Okay. Now it says, in the spirit of OAHSPE, this vision from Revelation 8:3 can be understood as symbolic depiction of how sincere prayers from mortals and the righteous, called saints or faithless, are received, purified, offered up in the heavenly realms for Jehovah, the all-creator. symbolic interpretation. It says the angel with the golden censer represents a high-grade ministering angel or Ethereal emissary appointed in the heavenly kingdoms, atmospheria or higher. In OAHSPE, such angels serve as intermediary lords or marshals who labor in the deliverance and evolution of souls. They stand ready at the altar, a place of pure offering alignment with Jehovah's light and sacred administration to facilitate the ascent of truth and desire towards the higher heavens. The part where it says much incense was given to the angel to offer up in Revelation 8, it says incense symbolizes the sweet ascending. There it is, self-sacrifice. That's the incense that was here. Let's go back to Revelation. Look at here. Another angel came and stood at the altar. See, the OAHSPE, again, it fills in where the Bible leaves off. That's the whole secret right there. And the other spiritual books they don't break down the Bible. They don't decipher the Bible. The part here, it says, and another angel came and stood at the altar having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense. Okay, now let's go back. There was given unto him much incense, right? It says much incense was given to the angel, right? Much incense. What is that incense that was given to the angel? It says incense symbolizes the incense that was given to the angel in Revelation 8. It says the incense symbolizes the sweet ascending essence of pure thought, self-sacrifice, and good works with heartfelt aspiration. It says in OAHSPE's teaching, true worship and prayer are not mere words or rituals, but living actions. It's called incense. OAHSPE, faithists are supposed to be a living sacrifice. A living sacrifice, inside and outside. Love indeed, non-resistance. This is the incense that was given to the angel put in the golden censer. Here's the incense right here. Love indeed, non-resistance, charity, striving for light. The much incense signifies abundant heavenly power or purity added to human prayers, which are often mixed with lower desires, ignorance, or druges, dark, selfish influences. The angel purifies and amplifies them. So they take what we share, what we send, our prayers, they purify them. For faithists who are striving to live according to the light, who are not under deity worship. That's the sweet. Only faithists can offer a sweet incense. And then the angels take that, realizing that we have Druidian influence to some degree on us. They take what we give and they purify it. And then it says the incense is offered with the prayers of all saints before the golden altar before the throne, meaning the saints align with faithists. Those living by Jehovah's commandments rather than false gods. See, saviors are earthly bondage. Their prayers, aspirations for light, deliverance, wisdom, and upliftment of the world rise like fragrant smoke. See? The golden altar, that's what that Thursday study, man, that brother, he tapped into it. It don't matter if many or a few go with him. They hold those Thursday meetings. I got the link in my comment section. Brother Bear, Robert Bear's ministry on Thursday. Send him an email, and Thursday he will send you a Zoom link for the meeting. It's like 40 minutes. We put our voices together, and then we put our silent voice together. We speak when the intentions, meaning the prayers, are typed out. Then we say it, and then we meditate it 3 times, trusting that this right here, what we read, is true. That our prayers, that they get put in the golden censer The angel takes them and they purify them, takes those prayers and purify them. And it's not like, that's the only, I mean, for any of us, this is happening. This is something that's happening for any of us. It says, their prayers, which are aspirations for light, deliverance, wisdom, and upliftment of the world, rise like fragrant smoke. The golden altar before the throne evokes the central exalted place of Job's administration, where higher angels and gods present their collective needs and progress of the worlds. Prayers do not go unanswered. Pray for your family, man. I mean, you already know. Pray for your loved ones, man. That they come into the light, that they're enlightened, that they come into the peace, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Creator while on earth. It says their prayers do not go unanswered. They are gathered, mingled with celestial light, and presented. This is what goes on in the spiritual that we don't know, we don't see. So here, you can read this if you want to. Okay, it says OAHSPE emphasizes that in the cycles of time, especially approaching within the cosmic era, angelic hosts increasingly respond. Angelic hosts increasingly respond to the cries and righteous labors of mortals. Angelic hosts increasingly respond to the cries and righteous labors of mortals. Low grade or Druja influenced prayers may linger or require much labor to elevate, while those from enlightened faithists rise more swiftly and powerfully. This offering often precedes action or judgment. In Revelation, it leads to fire cast to earth, thunder, lightning, earthquake, which in OAHSPE terms could parallel divine responses. Stirrings in heaven and on earth, deliverance of bound spirits, the breaking of old cycles of darkness, and the outpouring of light and reform. So that's one of the thing for us, man, is the flesh, how we're bound by what we can see and not being able to see the spiritual world. But if you really can receive it, man, I personally, I trust that many faithists, that we know that we have this power to project energy to others and that they get answered. Project vibrations and whatever you want to call it. In essence, the scene illustrates the living connection between earth and heaven. Jehovah hears the sincere heart through his angelic hosts. Prayers offered in light are not lost, but become a sweet savor that moves the divine administration toward greater harmony, resurrection of souls, and the establishment of the higher order on earth. This aligns with OAHSPE's core message: personal responsibility, works over empty profession, and the cooperative labor between mortals and angels under Jehovah. True prayer is action in harmony with the Creator, and it ascends effectively when freed from self and darkness. There's that phrase again, man, the self, man. When will we ever battles with the self, man? You can have everything you want on the earth, man, and still be in a state of depression. There are people who have everything yet are still, matter of fact, I wonder, let me look at this. Let's see this real quick. Let me see what this will say if I ask the computer. Are there people who have everything they have ever wanted yet are still depressed? Let's see what it says. Look here. And you can't believe everything or AI say. I realize that. You know what I mean? But your spirit, it seems to let you know whether you can believe something. When you serve the self, man, you know, it says, yes, this is common. Many people who achieve wealth, fame, success, relationships, or material possessions they once dreamed of still experience depression, emptiness, dissatisfaction. This phenomenon is well documented in psychology, economics, personal accounts from high achievers. Why this happens? Hedonic adaptation. That's where you just live a life that's totally dedicated to pleasure and entertainment. It's called hedonism. There are several well established reasons for you serve yourself. You got everything you want. Yet, a lot of people, I'm sure in this reality, most people would love to be rich, have everything they want, and take their chances on whether they would be depressed. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that it happens and it happens a lot, I'm pretty sure people realize that that's not what is it? What does the song say? Can't buy me love. You know, hedonic adaptation, the hedonic treadmill. People quickly adjust to positive changes. What once brought excitement, a big house, luxury car, fame, or achievement, becomes the new normal. The thrill fades. It fades. And they return to a baseline level of happiness. Classic studies on lottery winners showed they were not happier long term than non winners and often took less pleasure in everyday things. External versus internal. See, really the bottom line, only the creator, he knows what is eternal happiness, man. That's the bottom line. I could read all this. You can read it if you want. I don't feel a need to read that. The bottom line is only the create. Only serving others and the what comes from that is enough to, when it happens daily, all the time, is enough to feed you eternally, really, is what it is. Because people can express their thankfulness and love in ways that riches can't, I think is what I'm trying to say. Only the only way, man, is you have to, you can't serve the self. The self doesn't satisfy. You know what I mean? It don't satisfy except for temporarily. Look here, it gives real world examples. It says celebrities and high achievers. Many openly discuss this, including Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. These are people who had everything and yet riches, it could not fulfill them. And it lists some people here. It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Lady Gaga, Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer, Jim Carrey, and others who reached the top yet faced depression. Some business leaders and CEOs and executives show higher. Look at that. Everybody wants to be a CEO, right? It says CEOs and executives show higher rates of depression. They show higher rates of depression. How is that? How can that be, man? CEOs and executives show higher rates of depression. It says in some studies, billionaires and millionaires have shared struggles with it despite vast resources. See, you serve the beast is never satisfied, the self. Broader patterns. Research like the Easterline paradox shows that beyond basic needs, rising national or personal wealth doesn't reliably increase happiness over time. You see? And we in the situation, it says that this doesn't mean success causes depression or that poverty is better. Financial security generally reduces certain stressors, but it highlights that human well-being is multifaceted. See, only creator he's the only one that can tell us what eternal happiness is. Materialism, it can't do it. Many find relief through therapy, meaningful relationships, purpose-driven activities, mindfulness, exercise. They still point to the earth here a lot. you know, which I mean, I'm not putting down, but people find ways to try to deal with that, deal with the depression and the letdown and it, but the bottom line that I'm trying to point out is that only the Creator knows what we need to be satisfied for an eternity. And it's just going to boil down, man, to being able to vibrate with people, be around them, serve them, not trying to deal trying to feed your beast, your desires, your passions. The beast just constantly grows, man. The more you feed it, the more it wants. You can never satisfy it. You can have everything, and it's going to want more. You see it in the world. People who have money, they go crazy trying to get more, man. We can't make it like this, man. We cannot make it. It says, we are constantly surprised by the many variations of thought forms that are made and sent abroad by souls who have no more than a purpose and goodwill. Meaning there are increasing faithists, man, that are coming, being enlightened with their power to be able to send energy to people. Don't have to be around them, man. You can send up prayers for people, both here and those who have departed, man, trusting that they get answered. That's what they're telling us here. It said, these are clear middle of the page. These are clear positive thought forms that we're referring to. Clear positive thought forms that we're referring to, not the garbled, muddled vibrations of the majority. Hail Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and in the day of our death. Hail Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and in the day of our death. Hail Mary. Garbled, muddled vibrations of the majority. Now, I'm not trying to put down Catholics, man. That's a prayer they say, They were taught to say it. Vain jangling, the Jesus of the New Testament called it. Thinking that they will be heard for their much speaking. It's a terrible shame, man. It says we can choose to focus and direct our thoughts to, look at that. See that? We can choose, look, we can choose to focus and direct our thoughts to a specific person. I love doing that. Or we may wish to enlist the aid of angelic helpers to find a good cause. Look at the spiritual, man. Look at what we can do. Many of you already know this. I'm trying to catch up to y'all. We can formulate our thoughts in words, or we can develop a vision. Both have power in shape and substance. Our unique experience and viewpoint lend a specific shape. Our unique experience and viewpoint lend a specific shape to our thoughts, which in turn can touch a person or event in a way that no one else can. This is creativity, inborn and potent. It may be actualized, meaning materialized, meaning brought about, made to pass, at will, at any point during the day. Listen for inspiration and develop your mind for the benefit of the planet. You too can create wonders. Radiance is constantly trying to tell us, man, the power that we have. We don't believe it because the flesh can't see the spiritual. The flesh can't see the spiritual. Now, some people seem to like this one post here. So I want to show it to y'all again. Let me see. There was one post that it got a lot of reaction. Let me find it. Oh, there it is right there. So I'm going to let that hang out on the screen for a little bit if y'all want to look at it before I close. It seemed to have gotten a lot of reaction right here. Maybe you can make a screenshot of it or something. This is our whole makeup right here on earth and in heaven. our corporal and the spiritual. This is our makeup right here. This comes from spiritual. This comes from Radiance Anthology. So you may want to just take a good look at it before I close the video. Human heredity, negative law of cause and effect, and divine heredity, positive law of cause and effect. There's our corporal, our physical, which are the senses, which is the flesh body, which is the natural body, which is the undeveloped mind substance. There's conscious and subconscious degrees of mind, human heredity. There's a negative mind, I don't know what it means by instrument, surface mind, human form, organized energy of space. That's the physical makeup of the human heredity. There's our mental makeup, which is the mind body, the spiritual body, the spirit, the positive mind, the personality, the lower soul, the human character. This is our mental makeup, organized thought force, our ability to categorize, our thoughts, organize our thoughts. That's our mental makeup. But the divine inheritance, spiritual, it's the soul, it's the divine image. Look at divine image, is divinity personified, it's the word, supraconscious mind, the ability to believe the spiritual, superconscious mind, I am, our unity with the creator, while yet having individuality. We aren't all the same, but we are all part of the creator, higher self, light within, organized faculties of divinity. That's our spiritual makeup, our divine makeup. Father, mother, creator, from which we all come, essence, divinity, spirit, consciousness, I am that I am, and personal being, over soul, universal intelligence, organized love, and wisdom and will. So a lot of brothers seem to like this for some reason. So it's a good picture of us, ourselves. We constantly struggling to understand ourselves. All right, good enough. So that's it. Let me go to the chat now. That will conclude the video. And let's see. Let me go to the chat and see what you brethren, if anybody is in here. All right. A lot of brothers showed up today. Let me greet each one of you. Mahalia, she was in here. Jamia. All right. Bishop, Brother Omian was in here. Brother Nazarene, Brother Dwayne. Hips. Yogi was up in here. Oh, Sharice, I was thinking about you the other day. You said you read those books, the study set to your children. That blessed my soul, man. You don't know. That blessed my soul, Sharice. I don't know if you're still in here, but that blessed my soul, man. That really did a number on me. She's got 7 children. Sharice does. That blessed my soul, man. All right. Looks like I tagged everybody. Unbreakable love for all. I never seen you before. She said, anything below heaven is a level of hell. Anything below heaven is a level of hell. Brother, there are no lower levels of heaven. Heaven is 7 up. Hell is 7 down. I don't understand that. I mean, I don't know what the source is for that. If there is 7 down, then those are lower levels. If there is 7 up, those are higher levels. And the OAHSPE speaks about spiritual grades. I don't know if you're still in the room. If you are, You can, if you want, I'll bring you on to the video right now. And we can have a discussion. I trust you're probably not here. So let me keep going. Kizzy, how you doing? Good to see you. Mike, never seen you come in before. I don't know if you're still here, but it's good to see you. You said, what are the days and times? Oh, okay. Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. I don't know if you're still in the room. Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. I try to go live. Man, it's good to see you, man. All right. So that's the best I can do for today. Now, I usually close out the video with a small prayer before I want to remind anyone that if you're in need of charity, then you can let me know secretly. If you're in need of charity, man, you can let me know secretly. If you would like the 6-volume set of the OAHSPE Topical Study, you can contact me. I've got the link in the comment box, along with other information. So, oh, okay. Thank you, Kizzy. You still here? Good to see you. All right. Thank you for saying that. It's very kind of you. All right. So, without further ado, I just want to thank you, brethren, for joining me. And Tuesday and Friday, 5 p.m. Look forward to seeing you again, Creator willing. So I guess it's good time as any for me to go ahead and close it out. So Jehovah, thank you for this opportunity to try to redeem the time to the best of my ability and share the light that you have given me to my brethren. And I pray that all of our shards are strengthened, especially for the coming days, that we will be influenced as to the way to go. We see the approaching darkness. Actually, it's already here. So Jehovah, I just ask that your will be done in our life, that we would be stronger servants, serving our brethren to the best of our ability, to the best light, according to the light that we have within us. Jehovah, for myself and my brethren, and give thanks, and pray that you would be with us as we depart. And until we meet again, Jehovah, thank you in your name. So let it be. Brethren, thank you for joining me. And until I see you again, peace be unto you. Shalom.